Welcome, Taurus, True Sky Taurus. It's your month at the moment. Well, it's the second half of your month. So this is your reading for the month of June. So the sun will be in your sign until around the 20th of June, and then it will move into True Sky Gemini. So the main spread I have here actually does not have any major arcana. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Discs, fluctuation. So there might be some kind of fluctuation of resources at this time. However, there is a lot of disc energy for you for this month, Taurus. And this doesn't have to just apply to someone with the sun in Taurus. Also, if you have a rising in Taurus, very relevant, a moon sign, or really any significant placement in Taurus in your chart. You could have like a stellium, especially the inner planets are important though, because they're more personalized. So the first card we have is the Three of Discs, which is the card of dedication. So the Three of Discs is a card of collaboration. It's also a card of self-mastery. So at this time, you may be working on some significant projects. This could be like business-wise or a personal project, but there's definitely, you know, it's called dedication. So there's definitely some dedication needed towards certain projects in your life. Then we have the Five of Discs. So the Five of Discs is the card of restriction. So there may be some financial issues this month which might hold up these projects that you're working on. And, you know, it is really important at this time when we are in restrictive times to, you know, lean on your community when you can. So you might need to do that to get through some hard times this month, whether that's family or friends or the wider community. And then we have the Page of Discs, which is the card of health. So the Page of Discs also very much linked to, as it says, health. So not just on the physical level, but this month you really need to take care of your health. And that can mean physically, emotionally, even spiritually, and your nervous system. So mentally, it's really important. And because it is linked to this card of restriction as well, it could even mean that, you know, due to these restrictions, you know, there could be stress that results from it, or, you know, not getting enough exercise or not eating the right foods or things like that. So it's really important to make sure that you are trying to maintain your health at this time. The next cards we have are the Ten of Wands, which is the card of force. So the Ten of Wands does say that you will be, and you have been, working really hard on some projects, and this is probably linked in here with this dedication. So you've been really dedicated to something and, you know, forcing your energy, all your energy into it, and you could have depleted yourself, and you might not even be seeing much results from it yet, from your work. So it can feel really hard, and you might be feeling really overwhelmed at this time. The next card we have here is the Knight of Cups. So interesting, we do have a character that's the central of the reading here. And the Knight of Cups, he can bring, it doesn't have to be a him, but there can be a potential love offer with the Knight of Cups. So this might be an individual coming into your life, or this could be you love offering your cup to someone this month. It could be a good month for love. And also, you know, the Knight of Cups as a character is a very, you know, emotional, spiritual, you know, empathic, caring, loving kind of character. And if, you know, the relationship kind of doesn't sustain that energy, they often leave. So, You know, it might not be, I'm not saying it's going to be this stable, committed thing. However, there is a lot of earth around here. So the next one we have is the Seven of Discs, which is prudence. So this is about looking at your past financial, potentially business decisions, how you've been working with your resources, and looking at what has been working for you and what you're going to move on with. So, you know, with our Page of Discs, obviously health is really important. If you don't have your health, you really don't have much at all. And being ill can drain your resources really quickly. Not just physically, but, you know, even financially. And all the other resources, you know, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So maybe even if you are having health issues, it could be a really good time to face them and, you know, try to, from this restrictive energy as well, learn about managing your resources better. So the next card we have is the Ace of Wands, which is the card of creativity. And this is linked here with your Ten of Wands. So this could also be a month of new passions arising, and they could even come out of this exhaustion, you know, all this hard work. You may just get like a sudden, you know, passionate urge to do something new. And then we have here the card of discontent, which is our Four of Cups. So there is some unhappiness and you're not being very satisfied with things here. It could even be linked in with this Knight of Cups as well. So, you know, I'm not sure if the water is the best combination for you. Water and earth isn't a bad combination. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly if this love offer is going to be. It's also linked with the restriction energy here too. So hopefully our Knight of Cups isn't restricted financially, because that can really lead to some discontent too. And the last one we have is defeat, which is the Five of Swords, and that's definitely a card of conflict. So the Five of Swords can also suggest potential gossip. You know, it can definitely suggest limitations in your life, and that you may have taken on too much and you are struggling at this time. And maybe because our Knight of Cups is even involved here, I'm not sure if, you know, this defeat of this situation may also occur, and it could even be linked to the gossip of others. I'm going to clarify with the Green Witch Tarot, and on the bottom of the deck we actually have the Five of Pentacles again. So that energy is quite strong this month for you, Taurus. And for the collaborating projects and the dedication, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So whatever it is that you're working on here, that you're dedicating your time to, it's going to be successful. The Nine of Pentacles is almost completed the journey. You know, it's almost at the 10, and it very much signifies you know, happiness and material acquisition and gain, and that it can say that, you know, it can be from being prudent. So it's not suggesting for you to be really lavish, you know, with spendings and things like that. However, it does say also that you could feel like you need to do that. So be aware of that. So try to be frugal, even if you have you know, dedicated yourself to jump to this 9 with financial gain. Try not to waste any opportunities that you're given, and you know, obviously don't take on that grasping energy. Like, you still need that flow in your life, the in and out of the material resources, but yeah, obviously being generous is a good thing, but just be aware of your finances and not wasting them. So for the Five of Discs, which was signifying hard financial times and restriction, we have the Page of Athenes. So this is the card of new ideas and new mental projects. I mean mental as in your mind. So new ideas, you know, on that mental plane. And yeah, it has a young energy, but that can be a good thing, because sometimes being young, you can see things that others don't see, just by not having, you know, already established biases about things. Sometimes you obviously can't always see everything, but sometimes that more innocent, clear, clean energy can actually point out things that when you're older you might not see, because life's kind of worn you down a bit more. Or then we have, for the Page of Discs, which was our health card, the Three of Chalices. So this is definitely saying that yes, you should look after your health, and that's really important. However, celebrating with loved ones, so having good times or good experiences, you know, making sure that you're having the good, healthy brain chemicals, you know, in your life by having good times. This also is really important for your health. So don't deny yourself like celebrations and things like that. Then for the Ten of Wands, which was this really hard work, being overwhelmed and feeling like you're not really getting back from what you've been giving, we have the Earth Mother, which is a very abundant energy. So even though you might feel like that's the case, there is abundance coming in, and it's more than just one. It's not more than just for one. You know, she's obviously pregnant in this photo, so there's she's got the cornucopia, all these darks. So it's a real abundant energy coming in from this, whatever it is you've been working on. So the Knight of Cups here, our central card, interestingly, we actually have the Knight of Chalices. So this is a really strong clarification that I think this is a person coming in. This is a new love offer. It doesn't have to be a new person. However, it's a new opportunity with someone, you know, offering you the cup. Maybe it's you offering someone else a cup, but there's a central love message here. Then for the Seven of Discs, which was about prudence and, you know, looking at your successes and deciding, you know, how to move ahead with them, we have the Queen of Wands. So she is our witch of the deck, and she's very much about manifesting things. She's very creative and passionate and warm and playful, and you know, she's very entertaining as well. So there could be some of these aspects that will help you move forward in your financial situation. Then here for our Ace of Wands, with the creativity, with the new passions developing, we have the Six of Chalices. So this could be this new relationship energy here, and also we've got the Three of Chalices. So this new love offer coming in could be someone you meet while celebrating. However, it could also be someone from your past. So it could be someone from your childhood. It could also be someone that has children, or someone you have children with. There's a connection to children or childhood. Is a very nostalgic energy here with this Knight of Chalices situation. And this situation is where you're going to get your creative spark from. So it's really important. He's obviously our central card. So for the discontent, the Four of Cups here, this was clarified by the Horned God. And the Horned God is very much linked to like the paternal energies, like the father, and also leadership. So he is a leader, And it could even be linked, I mean, it is linked here in the cards with our Knight of Chalices. So this Knight may have some leadership energies. Maybe they even are a father, and maybe they are quite discontent with their situation. So the next one we have for the Five of Swords, we have defeat. And for this one, we have the Moon to clarify. So this defeat and this card, the Five of Swords, was talking about, you know, being overwhelmed, taking on more than you should, and that potential gossip from others. So the Moon is always a very mysterious card, and it can even be linked with magic. So we just have had the full moon in True Sky Scorpio, so potentially even around the moon time, because it was a blue moon, which is quite a special moon. There might have even been some, I'm not saying exactly, but there could have been someone doing some kind of defeat magic on you, or even linked to this person and this relationship here. So if they already do have prior commitments, you know, like it could even be this Queen of Wands here. This could be, she could be, you know, their ex or something, maybe. Yeah, so I will clarify with some more cards here. So the next deck I'm going to use is our Earth Magic Oracle, and on the bottom of the deck we have instinct. So it's really important that you use your instincts at this time. Okay, so the first card we have is breath. So potentially with this health here, there could be a link there. So this is for the restriction and the Page of Athenes. So this was the new ideas around restriction. So from being in a restricted energy, you might actually get new ideas about, you know, maybe freeing yourself from this energy, or, you know, how to manage your resources better. There could be that kind of energy. It's really important to focus on your breath and your breathing. If you can meditate, because the Swords has that really mental energy. It's a very intelligent card, you know, the Swords. So, and then also the Forest, the restriction definitely refers to, you know, seeking help from your community as well. And the Forest, obviously, it's a group. There's, you know, there's a tree and there's a forest, and a forest is like a group of trees. So once again, really look to your wider community to help you at this time. Our central card is Karma, DNA. So this is for our Knight of Cups, Knight of Chalices. So there's some karma attached to this Knight. I can't exactly say what it is. However, you know, we've got the Queen of Wands here. We have the children here, even the Three of Chalices. So it could even be you, some karma that you have, whether it's from a past life or this life or someone you're connected to. There is some karma that's going to play out this month with this Knight of Cups. So with this love offer. And then we have Dragonfly, which is emerge. And this is about the discontent, the leadership potential, potential fatherhood, and this emerging energy. You are in an intense process of emergence into the next cycle of your life. Unlike more gradual shifts in awareness you have experienced, this one is happening quite rapidly and came on somewhat unexpectedly, without any pauses for contemplation or indecision. You may even think that you are unprepared for such dramatic change in your life. Yet you are prepared and can put to use the experiences and wisdom you've accumulated up to now. Life is demanding that you move into the next stage of maturity. This requires you to adjust your thinking about yourself, others, and your community. It calls for you to shed yet another layer of your ego-filled defenses and let go of any illusions of being less than who you are. This period of emergence is one of a broadened consciousness and heightened perceptual capacities, and since it is inevitable, it is best to surrender. It is best to surrender to the flow and allow yourself to gracefully move into the next cycle of your life. So this is like some kind of leadership, because you're discontent anyway. You're not happy where you are, so you need to step up into like a leadership role in your life, and you're emerging into that. The next cards I'm going to pull from are the Green Witch Oracle, and on the bottom of the deck we have Rosemary, Remembrance, Loyalty, and Faithfulness. First card is Preserve, Security, Forethought, and Thrift, and this is very much linked with the breath and that forest, that community there. So that community is going to help you with security, and also thrift. You've got thrift is going to help you a lot with this restriction. So maybe it is that you're going to learn to make jam and pickles, and you know, maybe grow a garden and all these kinds of things, preserve some things. Then we have for our center, we have Moss, Agate, Positivity, and Change. So we have the change coming up again. So this being linked to the karma is very positive. So this Knight of Cups may have had a past. There may be some karma involved here. However, it looks like they are moving on from negativity. This one definitely says change and positivity. So then we have the Cup of Tea, Patience and Reassessment, and this is linked with your emergence. So be patient and reassess. The next cards we have are the Nature Speak Oracle, and on the bottom of the deck we have Follow Your Passion. Okay, so the first card we have is Cattail, Spread Seeds. The first thing I was thinking here is that, you know, because this was all about this community and these new ideas and, you know, focusing on what you need, like breath, that you need to breathe, and, you know, getting back to basics with the thrift. And you might be even helping out your community. Maybe you could volunteer somewhere, or maybe it's volunteers that help you and they spread seeds into your life, but there is this energy of spreading seeds here. The next one we have is Aspen, which says to shed the old, and this is linked to the positivity and the change. So change doesn't always have to be negative. In fact, this one specifically states positivity with the change, and Aspen's saying to shed the old. So shedding this old karma, moving on in your life. The next one we have is Ivy, Stretch and Explore. And this is linked with our Cup of Tea, the Patience and Reassessment. So stretch and explore. The last cards I'm going to pull from today are the Australian Wildflowers, and on the bottom of the deck we have Sturt's Desert Rose, which is the card of courage. And the first card we have is, to me it sounds like a very Aboriginal name, Mulla Mulla, Recovery. And interesting that this card comes after this one, and this is like a grass, looks like a grass, a feathery grass, and then we have here the cattail with its kind of cotton-like seeds. It's interesting. Okay, so recovery. So what a nice card to have after the restriction. So you will get through this time. If there is some restriction in your life at this time, you will get through it. You know, surely by the end of the month you'll be looking back and thinking, more positively about things. So, mula mula. A problem could be very close to being solved. Do not fear the process or the fire of passage that may need to occur. It's a herald of rejuvenation and new vitality that can now begin. However, also indicates a challenge with an unwilling attitude surrounding the cleansing and need that release needs to occur. It's time to let go so you can move on and recover from past hurts. It's also a warning not to look back. There are connections with the fear of fire or of getting burnt. Work on what is holding you back. So don't give in to the victim mentality and not be willing to accept change. It's good for working with if you're suffering any deep traumas. The next one we have is Kroia possibilities. So Kroia says, sometimes the road to our goals isn't straight, and Kroia most definitely points to delays, both frustrating and fruitful. If you do find yourself held up, look around for the silver lining or the lesson. It's there. If things have been difficult, you can look forward to some kind of resolution soon. This signals that it's also a time of growth and moving forward, but make sure the deadwood is cleared and any unresolved underlying issues are worked through first. The healing calms the worry in our minds, instills balance and opens pathways to self-belief. The challenge can be around stagnation in health and action and inability to trust oneself. And then the last one we have here today is the blue gum flower healing. Blue gum indicates a time of healing and cleansing energy. Accept what has gone before and move forward. Working for the greater good and looking at the big picture as opposed to being bogged down in the details is being suggested to you. Look at other ways to heal and commit to being healthy and looking after you. It can be time to forgive the hurts of the past. Blue gum also suggests working with higher energies and taking notice of your guides. The challenge that blue gum can present is victim mentality, being disconnected from faith and losing hope. As a healer, it's one of the strongest physical healers. It supports the mind, body, and spirit connection. So that's your reading for the month of June, True Sky Taurus. And I hope you have a great, fantastic month ahead. It doesn't look, too concerning or anything. I will sweep some of this negativity away, though, from our reading today. There was some karma and I think some moving on and definitely a lot of change and movement here. So we've got some interesting, astrological musings going on. Obviously the sun being significant for you, which moves out around the 20th, moves out of Taurus into True Sky Gemini. We still have Uranus, which obviously will be some years still in Taurus, and definitely it is a planet that brings a lot of change. So it definitely is a very significant change, time for change for Tauruses, having Uranus there. Mercury has actually now moved out of True Sky Taurus. It's now in Gemini. So that's quite interesting. And also we do have the nodes still challenging the Taurus placements. So it's interesting, we did have that karmic theme at the center of the reading there. Having the nodes in squaring signs to Taurus, it could feel like definitely some karmic energies there. And also we do have still some Pisces energies, which is, you know, some positive energies there with the Pisces sextiling. And then we also have Pluto trining Taurus as well. So very transformative energies there. So soon, this month, later this month, probably around the time that the sun goes into True Sky Gemini, Jupiter will move into True Sky Cancer, and also Venus at some point will move into there as well. So we've still got Venus and Jupiter in Gemini, and now Mercury, and yeah, Mars is in Aries and Chiron's still in Pisces. Obviously, depending on what the moon's doing, is very significant on a daily level as well. So yeah, I hope you have a fantastic month ahead, and I'll be back again with another reading soon. If you could, if you got anything out of this reading, obviously it's not all going to resonate for everyone, so take what resonates and leave the rest for those that it will resonate for. And yeah, if you could like, comment and or subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. I'm so grateful for all of the interaction that I get, and thank you to everyone that already has, and I'll be back again soon. Okay, bye.